You were never meant to strive, to chase, to beg for money. You were meant to imagine it, to know it, and to receive it. Just as surely as you receive the breath in your lungs without struggle. The rich already know this. Wealth begins in consciousness. It is not earned by labor alone, but by the assumption of already being wealthy. Look around you. Everything you see, touch, taste, and know was once imagined. The house, the chair, the clothes on your back. So why do you doubt that the money you desire must first exist in your inner world before it ever appears in your outer one? To attract money, stop thinking of yourself as someone who needs it. Begin now to feel what it's like to already possess it. Do not imagine money as something distant or hard to get. Imagine what you would do if you already had it. Would you walk differently? Would you speak with greater calm? Would you sleep peacefully at night, knowing all is well? Then begin to walk, speak, and rest in that state now. This is not about tricking the world. It is about aligning with the truth that consciousness is the only reality. You are the operant power. You decide what becomes visible in your world. Think feelingly. Feel abundantly. Think richly. Think generously. Do not ask, how will the money come? That is not your concern. Your concern is to dwell in the state where the money already is. Create the scene in your mind. A simple, natural scene that implies the money is yours. Perhaps you are writing a check without hesitation. Perhaps you are booking a flight first class. Feel the texture of the leather seat. Hear the quiet hum of peace around you. Let it be vivid. Let it be real, for it is real. The world will echo back what you dare to believe in silence. The secret the rich already know is this: wealth is not acquired. It is assumed. Assume you are rich, not tomorrow, not when you see evidence, but now, when there is none. For what you assume and persist in feeling as true must harden into fact. They do not tell you this in schools. They do not teach this in universities or boardrooms. But every truly rich man or woman knows it, not in theory, but in practice. They live from the end. They wake up in the morning not wondering what will come to them, but knowing that what they desire is already theirs in substance and soon will be in sight. You do not become rich by chasing money. You become rich by embodying the consciousness of wealth. This is not mere repetition of words. It is feeling the truth of them. Repeating, "I am rich," without feeling is like speaking into the wind. But when you say it and let the feeling of wealth take over your body, your mind, your breath, that is when the substance of things hoped for begins to form. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself with all the money you desire. Do not concern yourself with the amount. Let it be immeasurable. What matters is how real it feels. Are you standing in your dream home, driving the car you've always wanted, giving to others without fear or limitation? Feel it. Hear the sounds around you in that moment. Taste the richness of freedom. That is the work. That is the creation. The rest will follow. The world outside is only ever a mirror. It reflects the images you entertain in the stillness of your inner world. The poor remain poor not because they lack effort or discipline, but because they continue to see themselves as lacking. The rich become richer because they persist in seeing themselves as abundant. They imagine success until it becomes their second skin. They feel the reality of it until the world cannot help but conform. This is the law. It is no respecter of persons. Whether you are a king or a beggar, it responds the same. Whatever you accept as true, it will faithfully outpicture. You can test this in small things. Imagine receiving an unexpected sum. Imagine a friend calling to offer you an opportunity. Do it naturally. Feel the joy of it. Then release it. Don't strain. The moment you know it's done, it is. You do not need a reason to become rich. You do not need permission. All you need is vision and the courage to persist in it when nothing outside supports it. The rich do not look to their bank accounts to define their wealth. They look within, and they command their reality through the power of assumption. When a thought of doubt arises, they do not entertain it. They replace it with a richer vision. This is not magic. It is law. A seed planted in consciousness, watered by feeling, will grow. And every thought you persist in is a seed. Are you planting poverty or abundance? Fear or confidence? Scarcity or overflow? Monitor the garden of your mind. Tend it with care. Remove weeds of worry. Cultivate the soil of imagination. To attract wealth, stop speaking of lack. Do not say, "I can't afford it." Say instead, "It is on its way to me." Refuse to argue for your limitations. The rich do not speak of what they cannot do. They speak from the assumption that anything they desire is already in motion. They think in terms of results, not resistance. Even when the outer world appears unchanged, the inner shift is everything. When you feel rich, when you walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that money is drawn to them like a magnet, then it must come. The law has no other choice. It mirrors the dominant state of being. Your job is not to force results. Your job is to maintain the state. How would you feel if you had more than enough? Peaceful, free, excited? Then dwell in that feeling. Feel it when you wake. Feel it as you move through your day. Speak as if it were true. Move as if it were certain. That is the unseen work that brings visible wealth. Many wait for money to feel secure, but that is backwards. Security must first be felt, then money comes. You are not waiting on the world is waiting on you. Waiting on your decision, your acceptance, your bold, unwavering declaration, "I am wealthy." This declaration must not be passive. It must be felt as a conviction. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not making a wish, you are making a claim. You are aligning with the truth that the riches of the world respond to you and not the other way around. Let this truth penetrate deep. Wealth is not outside of you, it is within you. Lock in your concept of self. Change that concept, and everything must shift to match it. Begin to identify not as someone who is trying to become rich, but as someone who already is. The more deeply you believe this, the faster your world will bend to it. Money flows where it is welcome. Do not push it away with thoughts of guilt, fear, or unworthiness. You are worthy of wealth. You are worthy of overflow. You are not meant to survive. You are meant to thrive. Accept this now. Make peace with the idea of having more than enough. Let it feel natural. If resistance arises, if a voice inside says, "But how could this be? I have never had it," silence it with imagination. Remind yourself that every rich person alive once had not. But they believed. They imagined. They felt themselves into a new state of being. And so can you. You are no less powerful. You are made of the same divine essence. Your imagination is sacred. It is the gateway to creation. Use it wisely. Use it deliberately. Every day, see yourself in the end. See the money. Feel the relief. Live from that place, even if just for a few minutes at a time. And you will begin to notice the world changing around you, a shift in circumstances, a new opportunity, a generous gift, money flowing from unexpected channels. These are not coincidences. They are reflections of your inner state. Never say, "I am waiting for a breakthrough." Say instead, "I have already broken through in consciousness." The evidence will catch up. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. What you assume is true in your heart will manifest without fail. Even when it seems slow, do not waver. The rich persist. They do not rehearse lack. They rehearse wealth in thought, in word, and in feeling. And so must you. Do not spend time discussing struggle. Do not rehearse old stories of not enough. Speak only of where you are going. See only the destination. Refuse to dwell on what is missing. Instead, bless what you have and imagine the rest fulfilled. Money is a servant. It follows vision. It answers the vibration of abundance. The more you live as if all is already well, the more it flows. Practice this until it becomes natural. Let it sink into your bones. When you rise in the morning, do not reach for your phone. Reach for your vision. Dwell in it. Let it feed your soul. As you begin to do this, day after day, a strange thing will happen. You will no longer feel desperation. You will no longer feel lack. And that inner shift will unlock doors you did not even know existed. People will appear. Ideas will come. The world will organize itself around your new vibration. And you will wonder why you ever doubted, why you ever believed you had to fight for wealth when it was always yours to claim. Let it be now. Let this be the moment you decide to live in the end. Not someday, not after you see a sign. Now. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Walk as the rich walk. Speak as the rich speak. Think as the rich think. Because you are rich, not because of what you possess, but because of who you are in consciousness. And when the world asks what's changed, you will know the answer. Not the job, not the circumstance, not the market. You. You changed. You awakened to the truth. Wealth was always waiting on you to believe. And that's the point of... And no, it must come. You must understand, reality bends to the dominant belief you hold. That belief is not a fleeting thought, not a casual wish, but the feeling that fills your being when you are still and honest with yourself. What do you truly believe about money when no one is watching, when the day is quiet, and you are alone with your thoughts? That is the soil from which your outer world grows. Change that inner belief, and the outer harvest will change with it. The rich, whether they know it consciously or not, have trained themselves into a particular state. They expect wealth. They assume success. They feel entitled, not in arrogance, but in certainty. That sense of certainty becomes magnetic. It draws circumstances, people, and ideas to match the state they have adopted. And that state is available to you, not in the distant future, but right now. It is not luck behind achievements or luck, it's a matter of decision. Begin now to decide, not with anxiety, but with the ease of knowing the truth. Say inwardly, I am the source of all I experience. Wealth flows through me, not to me. I do not chase it, I express it. Say this with calm conviction, not force. Speak it as one who is remembering, not one who is pleading. Your inner conversations are the script of your life. What are you rehearsing when you think about money? Are you thinking, how will I pay this? Or, why doesn't it come faster? Change that. Think instead, I always have more than I need. Think, I am supported by unseen forces. Think, money comes in ways I cannot predict. This is not lying to yourself. It is creating the self. You are not a reporter of your life. You are the author. And the moment you begin to feel what you are saying, creation begins. Do not be concerned with how long it takes. Time is only a measure of your faith. The richer your feeling, the shorter the time between imagining and manifesting. Persist, not with tension, but with peace. Persist, not with worry, but with gratitude. You'll begin to walk through life with a quiet expectation, the way you would if you already knew a great inheritance had been written in your name and was on its way to you. Would you not relax? Would you not breathe easier? Would you not move differently through your day? That is how you begin to shift. It is subtle at first, a thought, a feeling, a vision. Then, without knowing how, the world begins to conform. A phone call comes, a door opens, a check arrives. These are not lucky breaks. They are reflections of your persistent inner state. They are the natural response to a consciousness that has dared to believe. Do not underestimate the power of a single assumption. One assumption deeply felt can transform your entire reality. If you can assume that you are already rich, already abundant, already free, you have already won. That assumption will begin to attract every scene, every person, every event needed to make it so. The world outside is never in control. It reacts. It mirrors. It reflects. The control is within you. The throne of power is in your imagination. Sit upon it. Govern your inner world with faith. Rule your kingdom with confidence. You are not waiting for a raise or a deal or a miracle. You are the miracle. You are the cause. Your inner world, when saturated with the feeling of wealth, must produce wealth. That is law. That is certainty. But you must be faithful to the end you have chosen. Faithful not just when it's easy, but when the world seems unchanged. That is the test. That is where most fail. They look at the outer world and doubt. But the rich know better. They remain unmoved. They hold the vision. They feel the result, and they walk in it until it appears. You are not poor because of your job, your past, or your circumstances. You are poor only if you believe you are. Change that belief, and your world must follow. Tell a new story. Let go of the old identity. Do not keep feeding it with memory and emotion. Every time you speak of what has gone wrong, you prolong it. Speak instead of what is becoming. See yourself as already in possession of what you desire. This is how the rich live in their minds. They do not dwell on past failures. They do not speak of what they lack. They embody success long before the world sees it. They rehearse wealth until it becomes real, and you must do the same. There is no power outside you greater than the one within you. You do not need to be chosen, certified, or lucky. You need only to accept. Accept the truth that your imagination creates your reality. Accept that you are the architect. Accept that you have the right to be wealthy, to be free, to live fully. Begin now to withdraw attention from appearances. Appearances are just effects. Stop feeding energy to what is. Pour it instead into what will be. Imagine the scene. Repeat it often, not mechanically, but with joy. Let it feel like home. Let it feel familiar. And then act from that place. When you pay a bill, give thanks that you have more than enough. When you buy something, imagine you are buying it as one who always has overflow. Walk with that knowing. Speak from that certainty. That is the consciousness of wealth. You do not need to figure it all out. You do not need to plan every step. What you need is vision, feeling, and faith. The way will be shown. The steps will arise. Money will appear. Not by magic, but by law. Not by chance, but by choice. And when you slip, and you will, do not despair. Simply return. Return to the state of abundance. Refuse to dwell in lack. Lack is not your home. Scarcity is not your truth. You are not here to survive. You are here to express the fullness of who you are. That expression is limitless. That expression includes money, comfort, joy, and freedom. And that is the... Do not judge yourself by today's evidence. Judge only by the feeling of what is to come. If the feeling is right, the results will come. You may not know when, but you can know that it must come. That is the law. That is the promise. And so, every day, return to the vision. Every morning, remember who you are. Every evening, fall asleep in the feeling of fulfillment. Let the last thought of your day be one of wealth. Let it wrap around you like a warm blanket. Sleep in that state, and the subconscious will go to work while you rest. You are not trying to become rich. You are remembering that you already are. You are not pleading with the universe. You are commanding with your being. You are not a beggar. You are a creator. Act like it, speak like it, think like it. We act like it by perceiving it at such real point, by creating like it, and if you persist, the world will yield. Not might, not maybe, must, because it has no power of its own. It reflects, it obeys, it mirrors, it follows the pattern you impress upon it. So, impress wealth, impress abundance, impress peace and joy and generosity. Let these be the tones of your inner world, and the outer will begin to sing in harmony. This is the truth. This is the mystery the rich understand and the world ignores. It is simple, yet profound. It is hidden in plain sight, and now you know it too. It does not matter what your bank account says today. It does not matter what debts exist, what history has followed you, or what others think of your worth. None of these things define who you are. They are echoes of past beliefs, shadows of previous assumptions. But you are not bound by them. You are free to imagine anew. And the moment you imagine something different and feel it as true, you begin the process of transformation. You must persist in the unseen. That is the place of power. The rich persist in seeing what others ignore. While others react to the world, they create it inwardly. They are not governed by what is. They govern what is to come. And they do this by feeling the unseen as real. You must do the same. Every thought you allow into your mind carries energy. It either confirms your wealth or delays it. That is why you must become selective, not in fear but in discipline. You must think only those thoughts that align with the version of yourself you have chosen to become. When a thought of lack arises, do not fight it. Replace it. Think instead, I am rich, and everything I need is already mine. Do this until your mind obeys you, until your inner conversation becomes automatic, until you are no longer shaken by appearances. You are training your subconscious, the builder of all that appears in your life. It builds what you feed it. Feed it lack, and it builds limitation. Feed it wealth, and it builds prosperity. Let your inner world become so saturated with abundance that the outer must respond. Let it become impossible for you to imagine poverty. Let your imagination only accept wealth, ease, beauty, and freedom. The rich do not dwell in anxiety over the future. They dwell in the assurance that life bends to their vision. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. This is harmony with the laws of creation. And those laws do not change. They respond faithfully, always, to your dominant assumption. If your assumption is wealth, then the effect must be wealth. But here is the truth. Most people never persist long enough. They plant a seed and dig it up the next day. They imagine wealth for 5 minutes and spend the rest of the day worrying about bills. They cancel the harvest with their doubt. They reverse their own miracles. Do not be like that. Let your seed take root. Protect it. Water it with feeling. Guard it with silence. Speak only to those who can believe with you. Do not expose your vision to doubt. Let it grow in secret until the world sees the fruit. Imagine every morning that your life has already changed. Not that it will change, but that it already has. When you wake, feel the new energy in your home, the calm in your heart, the joy in your step. Do not wait for evidence. Become the evidence. The rich are not trying to become. They already are. And because they know they are, life confirms it. That is the paradox. Most believe they need proof before they believe. But the truth is, you must believe before there is proof. And when belief becomes second nature, the proof shows up in every direction. So what if you do not see results yet? You do not dig up a tree because it has not borne fruit in a week. You trust the process. You stay faithful to the seed. And your wealth will come in due season, suddenly, richly, easily. Make this your new way of being. Do not force it. Feel it. Let it become natural. Let it become normal. Imagine yourself already successful, not loud, not desperate, calm, certain, confident. That is the vibration of wealth. It is not scattered. It is composed. It is rooted in knowing, not needing. Feel into what it's like to be that version of yourself. The one who no longer worries about bills. The one who moves through life with grace. The one who receives unexpected money often, who gives freely, who wakes up with gratitude for the wealth that surrounds them. Stay in that vibration. When you slip out, return to it. You are not trying to attract money. You are attracting states. And the state of wealth includes money. When you embody that state, Everything that belongs to it will come. Do not chase the thing, become the person who naturally receives the thing. And how do you become that person? By assuming it, by thinking like them, feeling like them, acting like them, until there is no more pretending, only being. You were not born to struggle. You were born to imagine, to create, to declare a thing and watch it become. That is the divine nature within you. That is the source of all wealth, and it is yours now. Breathe that in. Rest in it. Stop asking how. That is the old way. The new way is knowing. The how will come. The means will appear, but only after the state is assumed. Life does not answer questions. It reflects decisions. So decide now, not in words but in feeling. Decide with your entire being that you are already wealthy, and then begin to move through your life with that feeling. Pay what you can with joy. Look at what you have with appreciation, and when something is beyond your reach, do not say, I can't afford that. Say, that is part of my future, and I bless it now. This shift in mindset is not fantasy. It is law. And when it becomes your default setting, your outer world will begin to rearrange itself, not slowly, not reluctantly, but rapidly and perfectly. Do not be discouraged by silence. Silence is not absence. Silence is gestation. It is the period between the inner decision and the outer result. Let it pass without anxiety. Let your faith be louder than the delay. Speak to your world as a master. Declare your wealth, not to others, but to yourself, in the mirror, in your journal, in your heart, until you no longer need to declare it, because it is who you are. When the rich look at money, they see ease. They see tools. They see options. The poor see fear, pressure, struggle. But the money itself is the same. What changes is perception. And perception flows from consciousness. Change your consciousness, and your entire world must follow. You're not a victim. You're not cursed. You're not behind. You are at the center of creation. Every day is a new page. Every moment is another chance to revise your assumptions. Do not drag yesterday into today. Do not carry the identity that no longer serves you. Begin now to build the new. Feel your way into it. Trust the process. Hold the vision, and let the old dissolve. Let the past go unanswered. Let the present become infused with power. The rich live in the end. That is their secret. They are not becoming. They are being. They feel it first, and the world complies. They do not hope. They know. They do not ask. They receive. And they receive because they already have inwardly. You are now invited into this same knowing, not later, now. As you read these words, something inside you is awakening. A memory of who you really are, a creator, a conductor of reality, a force more powerful than any condition. And that force is now pointed toward wealth. Let yourself believe again. Let yourself imagine freely. Let yourself feel joy now, not when things change, but so they can change. Wealth is drawn to joy, to peace, to gratitude. Cultivate those, not someday, now. Your imagination is your workshop. Go there daily. See the life you desire. Enter it. Smell the air. Hear the laughter. Touch the softness of abundance. And then bring that feeling back into your day. Let it influence every word, every decision, every thought. And soon, very soon, the world will show you what you've dared to believe, because it must. It always has. It always will. The law never fails. What you feel with conviction, what you believe with emotional certainty, must outpicture itself in your life. This is not philosophy. This is not motivational theory. It is law, fixed, unwavering, and exact. Just as gravity does not fail, so too does imagination, when fused with belief, produce its visible counterpart. You may have struggled for years. You may have tried every method, strategy, or financial trick. But the moment you shift your identity, The moment you change your inner assumptions, the results begin to follow. Slowly at first, perhaps, like the first light of dawn breaking the horizon, but soon, with the full brilliance of day. You are not here to merely survive your circumstances. You are here to command them. And you do that through the power of sustained assumption, by holding a vision so clearly, so consistently, that the world is compelled to respond. The rich do this instinctively. They see what they want, and they assume they have it. They don't second guess. They don't rehearse why it won't happen. They act from the end as though the outcome is guaranteed, and because they do, it is. Now you know their secret. The question is, will you use it? Will you allow yourself to live from the end, even when the bank balance disagrees, even when friends or family question your direction? Will you believe the unseen more than the seen? That is the test of the faithful Creator. It takes boldness to walk by inner sight. It takes trust to ignore the noise of the outer world. But you must learn to feel wealthy in a room where lack seems to reign. You must learn to hold the vibration of abundance even when you receive a bill, even when you lose a job, even when you face delay. These are not signs that you are wrong. They are tests to see how deeply you believe. Every person who ever changed their life did so by first changing their self-concept. The shift always starts within. You may not be able to control every circumstance, but you can control your inner dialogue. You can choose the thoughts you dwell on. You can imagine wealth, even in the midst of need. And when you do that consistently, everything must change. So what does it feel like to be wealthy? Not to become wealthy, but to be wealthy. That's the key. To dwell in that feeling. It may be calm, it may be joyful, it may be a quiet, stable sense of power and possibility. Let that be your home. Let that be your center, and return to it again and again. You are not defined by your current conditions. You are not your debt, your bills, or your income. You are defined only by what you accept as true about yourself. So if you have accepted lack as your identity, reject it now, not gradually, immediately. Declare a new truth. Assume a new state. Say inwardly, I am now the embodiment of wealth. I am the embodiment of overflow. I am the embodiment of ease and freedom. And then act accordingly. You do not need to make large moves. Start small, but start now. Pay what you can with gratitude. Give where you can with joy. Speak with generosity. Walk with dignity. Not for show, but because you know that you are no longer who you were. And soon the world will catch up to this new you, because it always does. Life is not judging you. It is not punishing or rewarding. It is responding faithfully, unfailingly, perfectly to your state. So begin to carry the feeling of already done. Feel as though you are already the millionaire, already the philanthropist, already the owner of multiple properties, already living the life of total financial freedom. Let that be more real to you than the numbers on a screen. Let that be more real than any temporary setback. The longer you hold the state, the more real it becomes, and not just in your mind, but in your bank, in your opportunities, in your daily experience. You do not need to fix the outer world. You need only to remain faithful to the inner one. That is where creation takes place. That is where wealth is born. That is where power lives. There is no luck involved in success. There is only alignment, and alignment is always an inner process. It begins with imagination and feeling and ends in visible results. If you spend your days worrying, second-guessing, or wondering when, you delay what's yours. But if you spend your days assuming, thanking, and acting from the place of already having, you accelerate the process. You must begin to move as the person who already has, not because you're faking it, but because you're creating it. You are rehearsing the future until it becomes the present. See yourself walking into the room and people recognizing your presence. Hear your name associated with generosity, influence, and success. Feel your phone buzz with notifications of deposits. Smell the leather seats of your dream car. Taste the champagne of celebration. Hear the silence of peace. These are not fantasies. They are instructions to the subconscious. They are blueprints for your new life. Your subconscious does not know the difference between imagination and reality. It responds only to what is felt. So when you imagine wealth and feel it with conviction, you are programming yourself for new behavior, new decisions, new attraction. And the world follows your lead. But you must stop contradicting yourself. You cannot imagine riches and then complain about bills. You cannot visualize abundance and then speak of limitation. The words you say are spells. They reinforce the state you dwell in. So speak only what you desire. Let your language be rich. Let your words drip with expectation. Let your affirmations be laced with belief. Money flows to me easily. I always have more than enough. Opportunities are seeking me out. I am a money magnet. Not just phrases, but declarations. Not just declarations, but reality. Feel them. Own them. Let them sink into your bones. Repeat them not to convince, but to affirm what you already know, that you are the master of wealth, and wealth is your faithful servant. No one has power over your abundance. No economy, no government, no family member, no employer. The only power is the one within you, and that power has no limit. It creates according to your command. The only question is, what are you commanding? Are you commanding lack through fear? Are you commanding delay through doubt? Or are you commanding wealth through vision, conviction, and calm expectation? Choose now, and choose with finality. No more indecision, no more waiting, no more trying. Be the one who already has, and let your entire being reflect that decision. Live with the feeling of course I am wealthy. Let it become your identity. When someone speaks of struggle, you no longer relate, not because you're insensitive, but because you've moved beyond that vibration. You now live in the vibration of solution, overflow, and ease. It will show up in the way you speak, in the way you walk, and the way you breathe. People will notice. They'll ask, what's changed? And you will smile, because you know the change happened within, long before it appeared without. And then you will see it everywhere. Evidence, confirmations, coincidences, new ideas, unexpected gifts, right place, right time. You will begin to experience what some call miracles, but they are not miracles. They are the natural response of life to a changed self. You no longer ask, will I be rich? That question dies. The answer is now certain. You are rich because you've claimed it in consciousness. And consciousness is the only reality. Everything else follows. So relax, trust, assume, and live each day as the wealthiest version of you. Not someday, now. Let the world rearrange itself to fit your new identity. It always does. You don't need a windfall to feel wealthy. You don't need proof to feel prosperous. You don't need a new job, a lottery ticket, or an investor to finally breathe like someone who's free. All you need is to change your awareness, to become deeply convinced in the silence of your own being that wealth is who you are. The moment you claim that identity and persist in it, the outer world responds with precision. It always has. You may not have noticed it before, but everything in your life today is the outpicturing of what you've accepted as true. Every financial struggle, every unpaid bill, every fortunate moment, every overflow of each of them reflects your concept of yourself. And this concept can be changed. You were never meant to struggle endlessly. You are never meant to live in stress or be a servant to your circumstances. You are meant to command life. And you do that not by fighting, but by assuming with faith so absolute that the outer world must bend to reflect it. You don't manifest by effort. You manifest by acceptance, by dwelling in the end, by living from the outcome. The moment you can say, I am that, and feel it deeply, you set the creative process into motion. Whether the outer world moves now or later doesn't matter. It must move, because consciousness is cause. You may have spent years rehearsing thoughts of, I can't afford it, or money doesn't come easily, or I'm always behind. But those thoughts were not laws. They were simply mental habits, habits of belief, habits of identity, habits of perception. And what was practiced you can now release. You are not obligated to believe anything that no longer serves you. So break the contract you once signed with scarcity. Tear it up. Say within yourself, I release all beliefs of struggle and lack. I no longer serve poverty. I no longer bow to limitation. I am free now. I am wealthy now. I am aligned with the infinite supply of life. Let those words be felt, not just spoken. Let them take root. This is not a matter of intellect. It's a matter of vibration. The vibration of your being is not determined by what you say once. It's determined by what you feel continually. And if you begin now to dwell in the feeling of ease, the feeling of confidence, the feeling of richness, everything around you must reconfigure. Money is not a problem to be solved. It is a frequency to be matched. And the frequency of wealth is not grasping, forcing, or doubting. It is allowing, expecting, and resting in certainty. There is a version of you already living in that frequency. You've seen glimpses of them. Maybe it showed up in a day where everything flowed. Maybe it arrived in a moment of deep calm when you weren't thinking about money at all. That version of you already exists, and your job is to inhabit them daily. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So become the one who already has, and stay there. Stay there. Not out of force, but out of desire. Desire to live in joy, in ease, in the reality that matches your highest vision. If you drift from that place, return gently, and each time you return, you strengthen the state. You might say, but I still have debts, or the rent is due, or the job isn't paying enough. Yes, those may be facts, but they are not the truth. The truth is deeper. The truth is, you are not bound by those facts. The truth is, they're temporary. The truth is, they are results of past thinking, and you are now operating from a higher order. You are not denying facts. You are superseding them, just like a plane supersedes gravity with lift. Gravity still exists, but it is overpowered by a higher principle, and so is lack. When you rise into a new state of consciousness, you rise through assumption, through repetitions, through feeling, through vision. You rise every time you sit in silence and know that your life is changing because your awareness has changed. You rise every time you close your eyes and imagine the phone call that brings financial relief. You rise every time you feel the weight lifted and the joy returned. You rise every time you reject the lie that you must suffer, strive, or prove yourself worthy of abundance. You are already worthy. You were born worthy. You are the embodiment of divine creative power. You are the vessel through which the invisible becomes visible, and wealth is simply one expression of that power. You're not here to beg for blessings. You are here to call them forth. You are here to speak them into being. You are here to feel them into form. So ask yourself, what would I do today if I already had all the money I need? What would I wear? How would I move? What thoughts would I think? What choices would I make? Now begin in whatever way you can to do those things, not to impress others, but to impress your subconscious. It is always watching. It is always listening. And it obeys not your wishes, but your state. Your state is your reality. Shift your state, and your entire world follows. There is no limit to how much you can receive. The universe is not rationing wealth. It is responding to vibration. And your vibration is always chosen, consciously or unconsciously. So choose now. Choose the feeling of already done. Choose the energy of it's all working for me. Choose the peace of I have more than enough. Let that be your dominant tone. Let that be your default setting. And you will begin to notice things, subtle at first. Maybe someone pays for your coffee. Maybe an idea floats into your mind, one you never considered. Maybe you feel lighter when you check your bank account, even if the number hasn't changed yet. That shift is the sign. That inner change is the manifestation. Outer results always follow inner peace. That's the order. Feel better first, be grateful before. Live from the end now. Do not let doubt pull you back. Doubt is only the echo of your old state trying to survive, but it has no power unless you give it your focus. Starve it of your attention. Feed only the thoughts that reflect your new self. And soon, your outer life will be unrecognizable. Friends will wonder what happened. Strangers will feel your energy. You will walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere, not by effort, but by being, because you have become the version of yourself who knows that wealth is your natural state. And when the money comes, it won't feel shocking. It will feel normal. It will feel expected, because you've been living with it for days, weeks, months. Inwardly. You've already spent time with the money even before it arrived, so when it does, you welcome it as a friend, as a companion, not as a rescuer, but as a reflection of who you are. This is the power you have. This is the freedom you've always had, and now that you're aware of it, you can never unknow it. You can only choose to use it or not. But if you use it boldly, use it joyfully. Use it with full confidence that life is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. Speak as one who has. Think as one who knows. Move as one who is already living the life of limitless wealth. And if ever you forget, if ever you slip, if ever the old state whispers doubt, just smile and return to the truth. Return to the feeling. Return to the assumption. Return to the version of you who already is and always was a magnet for prosperity. Well, because that is who you are. That is your essence. That is your reality. Now let everything else fall into place. So now, stand tall within yourself. You don't need to chase wealth anymore. You only need to become it. Live from the state where money flows to you, not as a visitor, but as a resident. Persist in this knowing, even when your senses scream otherwise. Your reality will catch up. You are no longer the one who waits. You are the one who creates. Every dollar, every opportunity, every open door is already yours in consciousness. Walk as if it is done, and it shall be done. You are the operant power. You always were. Now command your world not with fear, but with unwavering faith. The rich already know wealth is a state of being, and now so do you. Let your new story begin today.